Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome to Swayam Prabha, Channel 50. Course title is Human Resource Management. The lecture title is Compensation. This is Module 14, Lecture 1. I am Dr. Shoma Sengupta, Associate Professor Commerce, Kamla Nehru College, University of Delhi. In Module 14, we will discuss the concept of compensation, policies of compensation, base and supplementary compensation, performance-linked compensation at individual level, group level, and organizational level. In this lecture, we will cover the first three topics, that is concept of compensation, policies, base, and supplementary compensation. Concept of compensation. Now, employees work in organization to make a living. It's an economic activity. It's a mutually beneficial relationship whereby workers are providing their efforts. They are working for the organization, and in return they are getting some remuneration in the form of wages and different incentives and benefits. So that is the compensation that they are getting for their work. Compensation is referred to as money and other benefits received by an employee for providing services to the employer. So, employees are providing services. In return, they are getting some remuneration, and that is compensation. It is a comprehensive term which includes everything an employee receives in return for work as part of an employment relationship, such as wages, salaries, allowances. Benefits and services like provident fund, gratuity, insurance scheme, and any other payment which the employee receives or benefits he enjoys in lieu of such payment. Different definitions of compensation. Dale Yoder, according to him, compensation is paying people for work. Another definition by Flippo, the function compensation is defining as adequate and equitable remuneration of personnel for their contributions to the organizational objectives. Although there is no basic difference between the terms wages and salaries, generally salary is used for compensation to white collar workers, while wages is used to denote payment made to blue collar workers. Salaries are paid on monthly basis, whereas wages may be paid on hourly or daily basis. Next, we define compensation management. It is also known as wage and salary administration. Compensation management is an integral part of human resource management and helps in motivating the employees and improving organizational effectiveness. Compensation management, as we said, that it is also called wage and salary administration. Remuneration management or reward management is concerned with designing and implementing total compensation package. The management should ensure that compensation structure is designed after taking into account certain factors like qualification, experience, attitude, and prevailing rates, work performed in an organization. Beside that, you have to think of two goals of compensation management. One is maintaining internal equity, and the second one is maintaining external parity. Internal equity means that a higher level job should get more salary or wages than a lower level job, that we have discussed in job evaluation. External parity means that it should be competitive to what other workers are getting in similar organization or at same level in different organizations. Compensation system. If we look into details of a compensation system of any organization, we find direct compensation and indirect compensation. Direct compensation, it, as the name suggests, it is an employee's base wage, which can be an annual salary, hourly salary, any performance based pay that an employee receives. So it is provided at regular intervals, consistent intervals in money terms, includes basic salary, HRA, medical benefits, city allowances, conveyance. It also includes bonuses, incentive pay, and commission. When we talk about indirect compensation, there may be legally required like provident fund, gratuity, pension, insurance, medical leave, accident benefits, maternity leave. Optional may be sick leave, casual leaves, traveling allowances, telephone bills, canteen allowances, club membership, and these differ from company to company and organization to organization. Objectives of compensation management. In any organization, their basic objective when we talk about compensation is that the compensation should be such that it will be able to attract talented people in the organization, retain the talented people, and maintain them in the organization. So the first objective is acquire qualified personnel. Compensation needs to be high enough to attract applicants. Pay levels must respond to the supply and demand of workers in the labor market. Retain current employees. Employees may quit when compensation levels are not competitive. Ensure equity. As we have said that it must be fair. There should be internal equity, external parity and equity. Internal equity, it means that pay related to the relative worth of the job. External parity or equity means pay comparable to what other firms are paying. Comply with legal requirements. Legal challenges imposed by the government should be followed and ensure employers compliance as well. Next objective is reward desired behavior. So those who are working well, they should be rewarded. Act as an incentive for those behaviors to occur in the future. Effective compensation plan rewards performance, loyalty, experience, responsibility, and other behavior. Control the cost. That is also important objective of compensation management, because nowadays the labor cost or the employee cost is mounting. So it helps the organization obtain and retain workers at a reasonable cost. Ensure that the workers are not overpaid or underpaid. Facilitates understanding. So compensation management system should be easily understood by human resource specialists, operating managers, as well as the employees. Next objective is it furthers administrative efficiency. Wage and salary programs should be designed to be managed efficiently, making optimal use of human resource information system, that is HRIS. Motivating personnel aims at motivating personnel for higher productivity. So they should be inbuilt a motivational ability of the wage system. Non-monetary motivators are like praise, promotion, recognition, acceptance, status, etc. To be adequate, compensation must be sufficient so that the needs of the employees are fulfilled substantially. The advantages of job classification method or grading method are: it is simple and easy to understand, economical, accurate, and systematic, develops an organization structure. These grades can create an organization structure as well, simplifies wage administration, makes grades comparable and with that of the other organizations. It is used in government organizations. Disadvantages are difficult to write accurate grade descriptions. Jobs may involve tasks which overlap in more than one grade. Classification becomes difficult. It is a rigid method. Personal judgment is also involved. Now you can see one example of different class or grades mentioned in this box, where they are ranked as executive, skilled workers, semi-skilled workers, less skilled workers, and their description is also, grade description or class description is also given. Factors affecting compensation. Now, different internal and external factors, they have an impact on the compensation that is decided by the organization. First factor is the organization's ability to pay. And a big organization which is making a huge amount of profit will pay more than a small organization with limited resources. Supply and demand of labor, as you have studied in economics, that curves also there, that demand and supply curve also decide the amount of compensation to be paid to the labor, or the value of the labor. Prevailing wage rate in the market, that has an impact on your compensation system, because if you are not paying the prevailing wage rate, people may leave the organization. The cost of living also decides, because if you are staying in a class city, your or expensive city, you should be paid more compensation than if you are staying in a big class city, because it is very expensive to stay in an A class city, and you should be compensated well. State regulations regarding living wages should be followed. The minimum wages, time and again, the state government, that it comes out with the minimum wages to be paid to skilled, unskilled, and semi-skilled workers, and that has to be paid to them. Psychological and social factors should also be taken care of, because sometimes compensation, it is giving them a psychological or social advantage. So you have to say, we are talking about a general manager, or the or a departmental head, so he should be paid more because of the social factors also. Then skills levels available in the market, that will also determine a market where limited number of people are there with the requisite skills, you have to pay them higher amount of money than in a market where there is abundance of skills. Labor unions also have have the strength to decide the compensation to be paid, because if workers are unionized, they have more say, and they may demand higher wages. Job requirements also decide. If it is a difficult job, more wages will be given. We have seen in job evaluation, the worth of the job depends upon different factors. Then productivity and demand of the for the product will also decide, because if a product is selling well in the market, so the workers will be compensated well. The workers qualities like age, his potential, qualifications, experience, position, that also has an impact on the wages to be paid to a particular worker. Hazards involved in the job again decides, if the job is hazardous, the person should be compensated better, so that you can retain him in such hazardous job. So these are the factors, and there are many other factors that affect the compensation which is given to the employees. Next heading is components of compensation, that can be studied in two ways. One is the type, like base compensation or basic pay, variable compensation, and supplementary compensation and benefits. So we will discuss them in detail. Base compensation or basic pay, base pay, as the name suggests, it is the basic salaries and wages given to the employees. It is normally constant and is given at a regular interval, and it amount is irrespective of the difference in the work performance. It depends on different factors that we have discussed in factors affecting compensation, like demand and supply of labor and all other factors. Now when we talk about variable compensation and benefits, now it is according to how much the worker is producing. So one gets compensation as per the work done, as is the case with piece rate system. If you have heard about it, the number of pieces the worker is producing, accordingly, because there is a piece rate which is fixed, and accordingly his compensation will increase, total remuneration will increase. Piece wage system, commissions, wage incentive schemes, they have a variable component. Then coming to the supplementary compensation and benefits, it is given by employer when he or she wishes to give it, and it is not compulsory or routine. Employer has a right to add, deduct, or even withdraw the benefits whenever he or she wishes. So in supplementary compensation, all additional things which are you are giving, that can be the perquisites, the fringe benefits, profit sharing, stock options, these are all supplementary bonuses. These are all supplementary compensation which is given by the employer to the employee. So when we talk about the specific components of compensation, we can say the first one is base compensation or basic pay. As we have discussed, that is basic salary and wages given to the employees, allowances, DNS allowance, house rent allowance, city compensatory allowance, conveyance allowance, travel allowance. They are also supplementary kind of thing. Fringe benefits and perquisites, supplementary type of pay which is given to the employees, like fringe benefits are paid in addition to the basic pay and allowances for the comfort and welfare of the employees, like different types of facilities: medical facility, leave travel concession which is known as LTC, provident fund, pension, gratuity, group insurance, children's education, subsidized meals. Senior executives, they get perquisites like company house, chauffeur driven car, etc. Incentives, that is generally performance linked, to motivate the employees to work hard, like bonus, profit sharing, commission, stock options, or sweat equity. Wage and salary administration and methods of wage payment. We have discussed that compensation management is also known as wage and salary administration. So it refers to the establishment of and implementation of sound policies and practices of employee compensation. This is given by Beach. Two methods of wage payments are there: time wage system and piece wage system. Time wage system. Wages are paid on the basis of time spent on the job, irrespective of the amount of work done. So here unit of time may be day, week, fortnight, or a month. So employees are given their compensation or remuneration on the basis of the time they have spent in the organization, not on the basis of amount of work they have done. So if they have come for the whole month, they will get the salary for the whole month. So the advantages are simplest, oldest, objective, regular and fixed earnings are there. So it gives a kind of a security, sense of security to the employees. No pressure to speed up. They can work at their own pace. Quality of work is high. So there are no wastages and no damages of the expensive equipment. Suitable for managerial job where units of performance or work cannot be measured or quantified. It is preferred by the labor union also, because you are not making any distinction between a high performer or a low performer. It is economical to administer, and no detailed records are to be kept. If the employee is present on a particular day, he will get the salary for that. Wage bill can be calculated in advance. The disadvantage is that no incentive for better performance, and therefore efficient workers may feel demotivated and their performance will suffer, or they may leave the organization. Guaranteed wages makes them indifferent. Low productivity will be there. Control over labor cost becomes difficult, and the supervision cost will increase. Suitability of time wage system. So time wage system is suitable where units of output are non-measurable, like in managerial jobs. Employees have little control over quantity of output. Quality of work is important. Supervision is good. Workers are new and learning the job. Delays in work are frequent and beyond the control of employees. Machinery and material used are sophisticated and expensive. Work is creative and artistic, highly varied. Standards cannot be established for that. Trade unions oppose incentive payments. If trade unions are opposed to incentive payments, there you can have time wage system. Piece wage system. Here wages paid on the basis of amount of work done or output of the worker. So if the output is measurable in terms of units, then you will decide the rate to be paid per unit of production, and accordingly you will pay to the workers. So if a worker is producing a larger amount of or a larger number of units, then he will be paid more. One unit of output is considered as one piece, and a specific rate of wage is paid per piece. Wages are in direct proportion to output. Advantage is direct relation is there between effort and reward, so it provides incentives, ample opportunity for efficient workers to improve their remuneration. It is just and fair, workers cooperate because they want to earn high. Benefits of lower cost is passed on to the consumers also as lower prices. It distinguishes between efficient and inefficient workers for the purposes of promotion. It increases productivity, lowers the cost of production. The disadvantages are difficult to fix piece wage rates, earnings of workers are not stable, workers work in excessive speed, and that not only affects their health but increases wastages, damage machinery, and reduces the quality. It also creates jealousy, and that's why it is not liked by trade unions, and it also results in industrial disputes. Suitability of piece wage system. So it is suitable where units of output are measurable, methods of production are standardized, job is repetitive, quality and workmanship not important, flow of work is regular with minimum interruptions, competitive conditions and cost control is there, large scale production with heavy overheads and broad supervision is there. The next heading is compensation policies. Now you know that the policies are guidelines to action. So compensation policy, it refers to the guidelines to decisions relating to compensation. So time and again you will refer to the policy. Different areas of compensation policies are there. Aim of such policy remains the same, that is to attract, retain and motivate the talent. Compensation policies cover the following issues: level of compensation, compensation structure, basis of compensation, pay periods, policy concerning incentive plans. So we will take up each of these policy areas in our forthcoming slides. Level of compensation policy. So wage and salary level policy is there. So organization has to decide whether it will be a leader, a follower, or it will just maintain the market rate. So lead policy means you become a pay leader. The pay leader firm pays higher than its competitors to attract, retain and motivate better. Lag policy is firm pays less than the competitors, and market rate policy is firm pays the going rate. So here the decision has to be made whether our organization will be having a lead policy, lag policy or market rate policy. Then factors affecting such choices are collective bargaining, earning capacity, availability of employees. Policies may change over time. So it may be possible that earlier when you are a small firm, you were having a lag policy or market rate policy. But once you have grew up, you may become a leader and you can have a lead policy. Then in level of compensation, another thing is fringe benefit policies. Supplementary compensation paid over basic pay and allowances. It includes pay, holidays, contribution. We have discussed the different fringe benefits, insurance, gratuity. And here also again you have to decide whether you will be a leader, follower or market rate mentioned in the employment contract or have a cafeteria approach. In cafeteria approach, all the benefits are there, but the employee will select the benefits which suits him. So all benefits are not available to everybody, but they are in there in the policy. So it's a kind of an a la carte thing, and the employee will select the type of benefits suitable for him. The next policy area is compensation or pay structure policy. So here you have to decide about hierarchy of jobs, each bearing a particular pay level. It should be fair, equitable, well accepted pay structure. Again, to attract, retain and motivate employees. Decisions involved in case of pay structure policy are how much pay differentials will be there, minimum and maximum pay rates for each job, methods of job evaluation, progression of employees through a pay range. Next policy is policy governing basis of compensation. We have discussed the basis of compensation. So you have to select a wage system for your organization, whether it is a time based system, piece based system or any combination of the two. Then next area is pay period policy. that is processing employee time records, same pay period or separate payrolls for different categories. So whether you will have say same pay period 1 month or 1 week for entire staff, or you may have for white collared workers it is a monthly payment, for a casual worker it may be a weekly payment, and other blue collared workers it may be a fortnightly payment. So whatever it should be the pay period that has to be decided for each category. Taking care of government laws and rules governing payment of wages and salaries, that has to be kept in mind. Specify work week, specify overtime pay. So the last compensation policy area is policy concerning incentive plans. Here incentive plans, you know that it is the compensation is linked to the employee performance. So better performers, they should be rewarded. So you have to first find out the performance standards to find out who is performing well. So fixing performance standards, that will be again part of policy. Deciding the incentives for white collared, it may be bonus, profit sharing, stock options. For blue collared, again bonus, increments, wage incentives may be there. Methods and periodicity of performance appraisal of employees, that has to be decided. So all these are part of incentive plan policy. So in this lecture, we have discussed compensation, which means money and other benefits received by the employee for providing services to his employer. Compensation management helps in motivating the employees and improving organizational effectiveness. The compensation system includes direct and indirect compensation. Objectives of compensation management is to acquire, retain and motivate employees. Several factors affecting compensation. Components of compensation are base, variable and supplementary. Time wage system. In that system, wages are paid on the basis of time spent on the job, irrespective of the amount of work done, while in piece rate system, wages are paid on the basis of amount of work done or output of the worker. Compensation policies covers issues like level of compensation, compensation structure, basis of compensation, pay periods, and policy concerning incentive plans. Thank you, students. So this was compensation module 14, lecture 1.